People who lost their jobs by going off on a customer. What is your story? Worked at GameStop as a GA, game advisor. Some guy came in and had a figurative assload of games, over 100 to trade, all with games and cases mismatched. It took about 45 minutes to process his ticket. When I told him the total, it was low. Because GameStop and also, they were all old, scratched games. This man then proceeded to try and negotiate with me, to which I kept telling him, I can't change the price, which only made him angrier and louder. Eventually he yelled, "Listen, you stupid idiot. I need at least $300 for all of this shit, and you're going to give it to me." First of all, I don't even have the ability to change the price at all. Second of all, my coworker proceeded to put all of his games in a bag, walk outside, and toss them into the parking lot, and told the guy to take his racist cousin somewhere else, and to get off. Store manager came out of the back room and fired him dead on the spot. The guy stormed out, and the second he left, my manager said, "Jesus, what was his problem? All right, get back to work." My coworker didn't get fired. It was just theatrics for the racist cunt. I felt like an idiot for just standing there, but it was taking everything I had to not hop the counter and hit the guy. I worked as a server at an upscale country club and had these two gentlemen come in for lunch. One ordered, and the other said, "I'll have exactly the same thing." So I confirmed that's what he wanted, and he replied, "That's what I said, right?" I bring out their lunch, and the second guy complains and starts getting rude with me because his lunch has onions on it. So I say, "Sir, you said you wanted the exact same thing, but I can have the chef make you another one." So he says, "Listen to me, you little idiot. I know what I said, and I never said I wanted onions." So I reply, "If you ever speak to me like that again, you and I are going to step outside and work this out." He pisses and moans to see the manager, who, unbeknownst to me, is sitting at the table right behind these guys having a meeting with another member. She turns around and tells the guy, "After the way you talk to my employee, I should let him. How about you both apologize and move on? P.S. I didn't get fired, but thought I should share a story where a manager actually stands up for an employee. In hindsight, she probably should have fired me, because threatening violence on someone probably wasn't the best idea. Oh, well. When you're 19, you think you're invincible." Disneyland. I worked in the ticket booths. If you're an annual pass holder, and you're on the monthly contract, Disney takes automatic payments from your credit card. If your card expires, or otherwise has to be changed, and you don't call to put a new card on file, the auto payments stop, and your pass freezes. No big deal. Disney doesn't hit you with fees or penalties. You simply call or come to the booth, and we handle it right then and there. Zippity-doo-dah. And in you go. One day, I get a middle-aged couple whose passes froze. The man was upset and ready to talk about it. A common question from guests is, "Don't you send out late notices?" No, Disney doesn't, because they're not practical. And again, there are no penalties anyway. "Just come see us and we'll straighten you out." The man says to me in a disgusted tone, "You don't send notices when a pass freezes? How does that work?" I said, "Well, you receive your credit card statement. You see that a recurring charge is not present on it. And you can expect the service related to the recurring charge to be interrupted. And that it must be related to your card having been replaced recently." The wife smiled. The man's face reddened. And he leaned in and barked, "Get your supervisor. And I want to talk to somebody smart." To my shame, I said, "Of course. Would you like someone smart enough to stay aware of their credit card use, or merely smart enough to read contracts they sign?" My booth lead happened to come over as soon as she heard supervisor, so she was standing behind me when I said the emotional thing. It isn't how I wanted to go out. I was 5 days away from leaving for a new job, but I looked at it as a vicariously cathartic mic drop goodbye to my fellow cast members. For them, it was a thrill. I worked in the rewards call center for a casino in my youth. People would call in book rooms or show tickets with their reward points. Naturally, everyone calling for a free room wants it on a weekend or major holiday, and that just wasn't available. A lady called to get a free night in the top-end suite on Valentine's Day. With 2-day notice, lost her shit when I told her no. Saying she spends so much money and we don't even care enough to reward her loyalty, and even attacking me personally. I just couldn't do it anymore. I calmly explained to her that, I see you spend about $20 an hour in the casino. Yeah, we really don't care about you. You could never come back and no one would notice. You need to start betting more than your entire family will ever be worth. Before we actually start caring if you come back or not, I obliged her request to speak with my supervisor and started packing my things. I used to work in the restaurant industry as a chef. We had a closed kitchen at this particular spot, so customers couldn't see what was being done in the kitchen. It was nice because we could listen to music and joke around without having to worry. Anyways, one day I was alone on the line and a server came to me and said, a customer wanted to give me his compliments. No problem. I put on my nicer jacket and went out to say hi. The customer thanks me, then tells me to come in closely because he had a secret. I was like, okay, sure. So I lean in a little. He motions me closer. I move in a little more. This guy then goes, I'll meet you in the bathroom in 5 minutes, and grabs my balls. I lost it and shoved the dude. Got fired immediately. I didn't lose my job, but I think most people would have blown up at this guy. Or cried. Fortunately, I am extremely calm and collected, and tough from being bullied so much in middle school probably. I worked at a large retail store and was stocking a shelf when an old, like 80-plus man came up to me. I assumed he was going to ask me where something was like every other customer. Instead, he started going off on me. Just insult after insult, telling me I'm disgusting, and all these things like that, because I have tattoos. Instead of blowing up at him, I thanked him for the compliments, sugar dripping from my voice. In my head I was saying, you'll be dead soon. But out loud, I said something along the lines of, I really love the color of your pants. Is that seafoam green polyester? I think the 1970s must have been so cool. Where did he even get those pants? A museum? Well, apparently someone witnessed all this, because about 10 minutes after the guy gave up, my manager came up to me looking furious. I remember feeling a horrible sense of dread. He blew up, but not about how I handled it. He said I should have called him immediately, and he would have kicked the guy out of the store, and that I didn't deserve to be treated like that. What a great manager! A woman came into a charity shop and complained about every single item loudly to the 10 or so customers in there. Along the lines of, this is all shit. Who pays for this? Like we're some boutique with clothes from the back of a van. She clearly didn't understand how rarely new clothes, still tagged, etc., are donated. Then she got in my face about it. I was so angry with her for chasing away the people that came in that I lost my cool. There was nobody left except her since she'd ranted them into leaving. I told her to get out, and I didn't give a shit about the clothes or her opinions. She screams her way out of the shop, broadcasting it to everyone on the street. She came back once the manager was off their break and complained again. So I lost my job fairly soon after. I can't blame them, I'd have done the same.